asked me that, and I tend to like either the outtakes, which I can't really repeat here. The amount of cursing I cursed at Krillin when he hit me in the head with a rock, hit Goku in the head with a rock. The outtakes on that are hysterical, and usually a lot of F-bombs. But I like those lines. I enjoy the Goku Gohan moments, the father-son moments a lot, and I also like the lines when Goku is behind Gohan and is a ghost kind of, and he's going to beat Cell, and there's that imagery right there, and he's going to do it. He's only got one arm. I mean, that gets me. I mean, that almost chokes me up right here talking. It's so awesome. And when you're recording it, doing it, we do it in real time. And the first time we did it, I don't know if I remember just Gohan had been recorded and they play the music for you and everything, and so it helps amp up your performance. So I don't really have a particular favorite Goku line, although I do remember when they were trying to Chi-Chi, they're going to do trying to get Gohan into school, and Chi-Chi's like, just tell him you like sports, you know, and reading. And so Goku's trying to talk to King Kai and he's got to leave, and he's like, I like sports. And you know, those little funny moments are what I like, you know, or when he's eating. Yes, sir. What's that? Oh, I can't. I might. You know, I do. I tend to not censor myself, but I didn't know how Puerto Ricans felt about that. So. I don't believe in censorship.
We're here in family, man. You can say whatever you want.
Family, bro.
Yeah. Just you.
When you first started with the whole Dragon Ball Z, what was your reaction to the Kamehameha?
The Kamehameha?
Yeah.
I didn't quite understand what it was at first. And they weren't sure. I mean, I'd done some screaming for the audition, and that's a big part of the show. And just for the record, in recent years, for some reason, people think I'm doing a screaming double, meaning somebody else comes in and screams, or that the screams aren't real or created with some, machinery, like a synthesizer or a sampler. No, that's all real. I stay in the booth.
I've seen the behind-the-scenes videos, and it's you, man.
It's totally. It so cracks me up that people think that, And one of the reasons and I'll get to your question in just a second because I just forgot it. I digress so bad. What was the question again? Because I want to answer it first, actually.
What was your reaction to?
Oh yeah, the Kamehameha. And I didn't quite understand what it was, and they weren't sure that I could scream like that. But when I got the job, I'd done some screaming, and they weren't even sure I could do the Super Saiyan transformation. They were just gambling on the fact that I could do that. Luckily, I was a brass player for over 20 years. I was playing French horn in orchestras, and that requires a huge amount. And I was also a singer in choir, so that requires a huge amount of breath work. And the Kamehameha, I think first time I was like, what the fuck is this, Kamehameha what, And I got to apologize because a lot of the reason that some of the stuff in Z, which has been fixed in Kai, is stuff like loosely talking about the Kamehameha as Kamehameha and the Kaioken as the Kaioken, wasn't my fault. The producers and the companies from Texas, so they're like, well, we just call it a Kamehameha. And I'm like, and I kind of bitched about it a little bit. And then later when we were doing, there are two schools of thought when you're doing a show. If you make mistakes, you correct them along the way, or you keep the mistake for consistency. For example, say you say Kamehameha on the first episode, well now you gotta say it for the whole series. I come from the former school where it's like, if you say it wrong in the first 10, 20, 30 episodes, then you figure out later, it's time to fix it. I believe in correcting things as you go along. So later in the series, maybe it was GT, I was getting a hard time from a director. I was saying, well, it's Kamehameha. And I go, no, I'm not going to say, because Goku was saying, something like, I've got to try the Kamehameha, or something like that. And he was referring to the Kamehameha. And I refused to go Kamehameha because I got so much flack from kids for saying it wrong, and I want to say it like it's intended in Japanese, right? So I'm kind of a purist. I am a purist in that regard. And so the director I gave him a hard time, and you know what he said to me? He goes, don't ever repeat this because we're friends now, so if he knows who he's talking about. So if you see this on YouTube, don't worry, I forgive you. But he got real mad at me. We had a fight, and he said, read the effing line. And I said, no, I'm not reading Kamehameha. I'm saying Kamehameha because I keep getting shit from everybody for saying Kaioken and Kamehameha, and that's not what it is. So in Kai, basically we'd done this for so long, I basically, anytime I was like, no, not. And I would just not do it. And Chris Sabat, who's the director, was totally okay with it. So that's a long version because I like to add anecdotes to the tangents. I'm a very ADD person, truly. And so my reaction was, what is this? But I'd also studied Tai Chi, so to me it looked like a big Tai Chi energy thing, and I thought it was very, very cool, really cool. And I am really disappointed that it probably hardly ever, never works. You know, well, he'll do it and it won't work. Blast cell in the face. Oh, he sprouts again. He misses. Oh, it's diverted. It never. How many times? I'm trying to think if there's any time Goku does a Kamehameha and somebody's obliterated and dead. I don't think it ever happens. No, he blew up a mountain. What?
It almost happened.
Almost happened, but it didn't. So they built this thing up to be this most badass move, and then Spirit Bomb's the same way. Oh, I'm building this up for 3 weeks. Doesn't work. Really? Thanks a lot, Kira Toriyama. No, I'm kidding. So that's a good question. So let's get somebody. Let me get in the back. I've got some people in the front. Let me go in the back. Is you young lady here? Yes, you. Yes, with the thing in your hair. Everybody has something in their hair, actually.
Arnold.
Yeah. Is it on? Is that on? Dreckle? Oh, oh, there we go.
Okay. I'm trying to ask you, Chris, but can you please explain to us, like, what was your first, how did you feel when you got accepted to Dragon Ball series and doing the role and getting the role as Goku?
Well, that's a really good question, and I've told this story a lot, and I'm surprised it's not all over the web, but I'm happy to answer it again because it's still a very good question. I got called by Chris. Here's the mistake I made as a young actor. After we auditioned, my personality is real similar to Goku's in a lot of ways, and when I got cast, Barry Watson said, "Well, I didn't cast you because you act like Goku, I cast you because you are Goku." And I was like, what does that mean? What the hell does that mean? And I'm less naive now, but when I got the part, I'm a very, very eager, happy, naive person in general. It's gonna be great. You know, I was like a little kid, you know. And after I got the audition, one thing you never do as an actor, and I did it, and I shouldn't have, I called him every day. Hey, how'd the audition go? Did I get a part? It was really awesome. I was like totally like a puppy, you know. And Chris Sabat, who was the co-producer at the time, now he's the director, I don't know exactly, he's the line producer, he was like, "Oh, Sean, yeah, we'll let you know in a couple weeks, yeah, okay, Sean, yeah." You know, he plays Vegeta and Piccolo and many others. And so I kept calling, then finally I stopped calling, and about 2 weeks later he calls me and goes, "Hey Sean, you're gonna get a part on the show, we're gonna cast you as Goku." And my reaction was, "Are you sure?" Because my Captain Ginyu audition was really, really good. It really felt like another big no-no when you're an actor, because it was my first audition. And are you sure? Because I thought I really nailed that Captain Ginyu. "Sean, trust me, you want to be Goku. Trust me. You want to just show up, shut up, come to work." So I didn't really understand that Goku was the main character, and so I was like, I'm Goku, okay, cool, whatever. I mean, that was not a very interesting voice to do because I like doing really strange voices, and to me, Goku wasn't that much different than my natural speaking voice. So I wanted to do monsters and crazy stuff. You know, I wanted to do that, which I got to do later in my career. And so I'm showing up to work, I'm walking down the hallway, I've seen pictures of Goku everywhere, and it's not quite dawning on me. We're in our first session, and I'm doing my first 3 acts in the Ginyu saga, and I'm fighting, and then Chris whispers in the mic, "You realize you're the main character in the show. You know that." I'm like, "No, I didn't know that," which totally made me really nervous because, like, oh no, now I'm the main character. That's, you know, tons of pressure. So after that moment, I was like, yeah. I was really excited. And he said, you know, he basically put it this way, he said, "You realize you're playing a character that's kind of the equivalent to Mickey Mouse in Japan. I mean, it's that big a character, you know." Yeah, this guy's saying maybe bigger. And I didn't realize that. And you know, it's I'll be honest, it hasn't dawned on me. When I first got on the show, the first couple years, I'd meet people such as yourselves, and they go, "Oh, it's really great, you know, you're in the show, hey, it's really exciting to meet you." And now after doing it for so many years, the reaction is so much, such a bigger ball. It's almost like this big spirit bomb has been building up for 12 years, and now the reaction is just so, "You're my childhood, you're a legend," all these things that make you feel so, it makes you want to cry, and you know, really? And I sat down and I laid in bed one night and I was thinking about it, and I thought about all the TVs and all the little kids, and their brains are forming, and the synaptic pathways are firing in their head, and my voice is vibrating and affecting their brain, and millions of kids, and every day, and I'm thinking about it, and I went, oh, and it makes you want to pass out, and just go, holy crap, I could command an army if I wanted to.
named the son.
Yeah, his your sister-in-law, your sister or sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Sister named her
She
son
named her kid Gohan.
Gohan. So when that stuff kind of
Oh, who's just that, man?
I know it. And when that kind of stuff happens, I'm just like, I signed someone's birth certificate in Australia. They named their kid Videl. And I signed the birth certificate on the birth certificate. You know, so I guess the kid's now a valid citizen of Australia because I signed it. No, I don't know. But it's just so, it's so humbling and so flattering, and it makes all the time you spend. I mean, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in that show. I would go back to, moved to New York shortly afterwards. I'd fly back once a month to catch up, and I'd do 12-hour days in a row screaming my heads off. So it'd be like 10 to 1, 2 to 6, and it's like 7 to 10 or whatever, 12. And I was just exhausted, but I did it because of what I'm seeing right here with you guys. That's exactly the reason I did it. Seriously. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. I wouldn't change any of it, not at all. Anyway. So yeah, so